Okay, you guys, the way people are talking about literally canceling Christmas this year is saddening me because one minute it's cute little holiday vibes, and the next minute it's a full blown heated discussion like Christmas got dragged into a group chat, and now everyone has an opinion and a screenshot and a summon. And yes, there is a real movement happening where families are buying into this idea of cancel Christmas. But besties, before anybody panics and starts hiding the tree in the closet, the gag is that different families and different people have completely different reasons for why they're canceling, and they are also encouraging other people to do it too. It's like a trend and not a whole culture tradition. So let's get into it because the timeline is loud, the takes are louder, and some of these reasons make sense. Some of them are giving complicated, and some of them are giving be so for real right now. Besties, be so serious because the fast lane people are taking is money. And honestly, I get it because Christmas spending has people acting like they are allergic to budgeting and then shocked when January shows up with consequences. So there are creators talking about canceling Christmas for financial reasons. And one creator basically said canceling Christmas doesn't mean canceling the love or not canceling the light. It means canceling what has been sold to the public.
Canceling Christmas. Yes, we are. But maybe not in the way that you think. Canceling Christmas doesn't mean that you can't have like meaningful, fun moments with your family. It doesn't mean that you have to be Mr. Scrooge. What it means is you stop giving corporations your dollar. It means you get off your knees and stop glug-glugging corporations and eating up every single holiday gift set, holiday candy apple red cup, candy apple red bag, candy apple red boots. Cute shit. Stop spending your fucking money. Tell your family members, hey, I don't want anything for Christmas this year. Ha 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 ha. Your Christmas gift to me could be pared back spending for other people. If you're going to buy gifts, buy them locally. If you're going to buy something a gift, make it extra meaningful by purchasing from a local quality vendor. Hit those Christmas marts, those little pop-up shops that like people from your community, they spend months preparing for. Buy that type of shit. Buy that shit. But are you purchasing Starbucks gift cards? No. Are you purchasing makeup sets? No, you're not. Hair products, heat styling products, men's wallets, men's boots. Men are hard to shop for anyways. That's all I can think about. But new cooking set? No. New air fryer? No. New phone? No. New tablets? No. We are paring back the spending, reclaiming our holiday season power, and maybe we can just save America and the spirit of Christmas.
And when they said sold, they meant sold. Like Christmas got turned into a product bundle and add-ons, subscriptions, and hidden fees. And now people are like, actually, no, I would like to unsubscribe. This creator say they are canceling the chaos, the distress, the debt, and the illusion that buying more makes people more loving. And that line right there is one of those statements that hits because it's not even dramatic. It's just true for a lot of families because why does love suddenly have a price tag? And why are we measuring care with the size of a shopping bag? Then the creator went deeper and said they were canceling the idea that faith needs funding or that generosity must come with a receipt. Like the receipt part, besties, because why are we acting like kindness only counts if it can be proven with a barcode?
What is so sad, y'all, is that there are so many folk out here who are about to literally destroy their 2026 before it even gets started. All because they are overspending, trying to create these memories, trying to give their kids this Christmas that they never had. Christmas is one day, y'all. And folk are about to set themselves back months, if not years. We need to understand that we have to stop sacrificing our long-term peace and our quality of life for one moment that our kids will not even remember. This is another reason why there are so many folk out here who will work for the rest of their lives because they're racking up debt for one day. So if you want to end 2025 better than it started, my money mentorship.
They said canceling Christmas didn't mean walking away from God. It meant walking closer to the truth, closer to what the season was meant to be. And they started preaching that somewhere along the way, faith got sold and became business, and love became a product. And you already know when people bring up faith and money in the same sentence, the comment section turns into a war zone because some people hear that and go, amen. And some people hear that and go, you're attacking my church. And now everybody's aunties are typing in all caps. They also say churches demand money from people who can barely afford groceries. And they added that churches pad the basket every single week. And the point they were making is that it keeps getting passed around for donations, but it does not always feel like the same energy comes back to the people who are struggling. They say some people really work hard just to feed their families, and yet churches don't, while they still take people's hard-earned money. So in their view, that is the kind of business people were cancelling when they said they were cancelling Christmas.
Some of y'all have lost the plot, and it shows. When Harriet Tubman said she could have saved so many more if they only knew they were enslaved, this has got to be what she was talking about. We are not canceling Christmas because we can't afford to take care of the children that we created. We are canceling Christmas so the powers at be can learn very quickly that we cannot be played with. You understand that when you go out Black Friday shopping, Christmas shopping, you are putting your hard-earned dollars, really your underpaid hard-earned dollars, into the pockets of Fortune 500 companies that are worth billions and trillions of dollars. Then they take that money and they fund the campaigns of all of the politicians that have been playing in our faces for the year 2025. Healthcare, income, taxes, your SNAP benefits, whatever it is that does affect you, the politicians that are sitting in positions of power right now have been bought. And they have been bought by the companies that you are about to go spend money with. So if we take away our dollar, they will feel it and understand, wait a minute, we can't keep doing these people like that. They're going to call the politicians that they put in power and say, hey, stop with the shit. We're losing money. And either the politicians are going to make some stuff happen or they're going to lose the funding from these Fortune 500 companies that are becoming wealthy from our hard-earned, underpaid dollars. That's why we're canceling.
And to be clear, they also said you can give your church if you feel it in your heart, because giving from love is sacred. But they said for the rest of the people who have opened their eyes, they do not need to put a penny in the basket to fund corruption that has been disguised as holiness. Now, besties, the way this is a sensitive topic because some people are going to hear corruption disguised as holiness and immediately feel attacked. And other people are going to hear it and feel seen because they have been guilt-stripped when they are already stressed. The creator kept going and said this year is about stopping the funding of lies, stopping the buying of what was never for sale, and stopping the calling of greed a holiday. And instead, they say teach children what love really means, plus create memories, not debt. They say share time with kids and not transactions. They say show children kindness, unity, and compassion, which can't be wrapped in paper and can't be bought from a store. So for them, this was a cancellation of consumer Christmas and the commercialization of faith. They framed it as cancelling the lie that money equals devotion. They said God never asked for someone's wallet, but asked for the heart, love, and unity. They also mobilized people not to spend, not to donate to corruption, and not to be guilt-stripped into giving away power.
Leaving, it's about walking closer to it, closer to the truth, closer to what this season was meant to be. Because somewhere along the way, the sacred got sold, faith became business, and love became a product. Now churches demand money from people who can barely afford groceries. They pass the basket every week while not paying a single dime in taxes. So while you work 2 jobs to keep your family fed, they don't pay anything. And I'm saying this December, no more. I mean, if your church is truly honorable, if it truly serves the people and lives the words it preaches, and you feel it in your heart to give, then give. because giving from love is sacred. But for the rest of you who see through the game, I'm asking you, don't put one penny in the basket regardless of your faith. Don't feed corruption disguised as holiness. This year, we stop funding the lie, we stop buying what was never for sale, and we stop calling greed a holiday. Instead, we teach our children what love really means. We create moments, not debt. We share time, not transactions. We show them kindness, unity, and compassion can't be wrapped in paper and does not come from a store. This year, we cancel consumer Christmas. We cancel the commercialization of faith. We cancel the lie that money measures devotion. Because God never asked for your wallet, it asked for your heart. It asked for love. It asked for unity. So hold the line. Don't spend. Don't donate to corruption. Don't let them guilt you into giving away your power. This December, we cancel Christmas. Then we can finally bring back its true meaning. Stay sharp, my friends. Be safe. Stand in solidarity. And please.
And the way they ended it was basically that if Christmas is cancelled, then it can finally bring back the true meaning. So, to summarize what the first creator was pushing, it was about cancelling the involved transition of turning Christmas into a commercial holiday. It was about people spending money everywhere, spending in church, spending on all sorts of gifts for kids with the idea that the more you buy, the more love you show, even if it means getting into debt. That is the cancellation being advocated for in this lane. The wealth mentor said, "You're about to ruin 2026. No, because I was not ready for this. A wealth mentor also weighed in, and besties, the tone shift was giving, "I'm about to drag you, but in the name of financial literacy."
Hot take. No more presents for Christmas. Instead, I propose experience gifts. Because I don't know about you, I can pretty much almost bet that your kids don't really need any more choice for Christmas. What we need to start bringing back is friends and family actually spending time with your children. Do not buy them gifts. Take them to go do something fun. Spend some time with them. That is literally the most precious thing that we have in this world. I get that there's people in the world that care about material things. I most certainly am not one of those, because I think that time with our loved ones is the most important gift of all. Not even to be cliche, just like 100% like legit. That's the truth. The thing that I think would be like the coolest thing in the world would be if everybody in the family pitched in a little bit of money, go to a resort, or we go to Wisconsin Dells, or, you know, like, and everybody pitches in, so then it's all equal. That would be the ultimate Christmas. Who's with me?
She said people are willing to literally destroy their 2026 before it even gets started. And she backed it up by saying it's going to happen because people are overspending, trying to create these memories, trying to give their kids Christmas for one day. She said those people are about to set themselves back for months or even years. She said people need to understand they don't have to sacrifice their long-term peace and quality of life for one moment the kids won't even remember. And then she said because of the overspending on just one day, some people will be prone to work for the rest of their lives due to the piling up debt for one day. And then, because the timeline is always going to timeline, she advertised her money mentorship program in her bio for those who wanted to end 2025 better than it started. Besties, the way this is a take that is both helpful and also conveniently monetized. Like, here's your wake-up call, now pay me. Now, the broader point here is probably about families that really aren't doing financially well, but still go out and spend extravagantly for the sake of their children, even when they haven't financially suited up for the season. And yes, that is truly a silent unaliver in a person's life, because it doesn't scream, it just slowly eats your peace, your sleep, and your options, and suddenly you're stressed every morning and you don't even know why until you remember you financed a holiday. Also, a child would still love their parent even without spending $1,000 on them. And at the same time, there are families who have their Christmas fund savings started every January to prepare for the day, and that creates stability and prevents debt, or even prevents compromise on what to spend. So it's very possible that those families are not the target audience she was talking to. It sounds like she was more worried about struggling families who overspend due to pressure. And it can come across like she's implying overspending on Christmas is a luxury that only families who can afford it should engage in. And then that leads to the uncomfortable conversation people always avoid. Because does that mean kids from struggling families don't deserve to celebrate Christmas? Does that mean families suddenly have to drop a practice that has been going on for the longest time because the economy is trash and everybody's tired? So that's why this Mentor's Day got people talking, because the logic is real, but the feelings and the implications are messy. The political reasons take. Y'all, the way my jaw hit the floor because the next lane is political. And this is where the cancel Christmas thing stops being about budgets and starts being about power. Other people have another angle. And these creators say they weren't canceling Christmas because they couldn't afford to take care of the children that they created. They say this movement is stemming from a very different point of view. And the goal is to make people in higher powers learn that the public cannot be played with. They explained it like this. All the Black Friday shopping and the Christmas shopping is people spending their hard earned money, or in most cases, underpaid money, into the pockets of Fortune 500 companies worth billions of dollars. And then they said the cycle starts with big companies because those same companies use the money to fund the campaigns of politicians. And those politicians, in this creator's view, have been playing in people's faces throughout 2025. And they tied it to public complaints about healthcare, income taxes, SNAP benefits, and everything else affecting people. They argue that these issues are caused by politicians that the public is indirectly funding by spending money in companies that buy those politicians. So, the creators' plan was basically if people take away their money from these big companies by not shopping there for the holiday spending, it becomes a wake up call. They say those companies will realize they're losing money and then they will call up their politicians and stop them from doing people badly. So either the politicians get put back in line with what the public wants, or the funding from those big companies gets threatened because the public stopped funding the machine. And then the creator added more light by saying canceling Christmas does not mean not to celebrate. They said it means not to give big corporations money and not to play into traps for these corporations like purchasing holiday gifts from them using hard earned money. They said tell family members not to get you those gifts and instead buy gifts locally if they must. They said that would be extra meaningful to local small vendors than to corporations that already have billions. And they framed it as reducing spending, reclaiming holiday season power, and maybe saving the Christmas spirit. So the point here is refusing to fund your own oppression, saving more money for yourself while supporting local businesses that also put in a lot during the season. And it's basically trying to have Christmas spirit without dumping all your money into big companies that already have too much power. Besties, send help, because then we get this moment where a mother told her 13-year-old daughter they weren't going to celebrate Christmas this year. When the daughter asked why, the mother bluntly told her it was because they didn't let white men inside their house. And then the mother said her daughter understood. And I'm sorry, what? Because that response came off more racist than cautionary. It is understandable if some parents set family rules for their kids, and it's understandable that adults have adult fears and adult experiences. But it gets way out of line when adult problems get projected onto children. Because kids should only be deserving happiness and stability, not being forced to carry complicated adult tension as the reason their holiday is being cancelled. That is why that clip rubbed people the wrong way. Because it was not giving protecting my child, it was giving I am dropping adult conflict into a child's lap and calling it normal. Okay, jokes aside, this part is actually relatable for a lot of families because some parents came out to say no to presents for Christmas. They said kids have just enough gifts and could use more experienced gifts. They said spend more time with kids instead of getting them more toys. They say take them out, spend time with them, with family and friends because time is the best gift to give children. Another person then said they even called family and friends and told them not to get them any gifts. And they weren't going to get them gifts either. They say that if someone wanted to spend on them, the best would be paying their bills and house supplies. They said they were still going to decorate for Christmas, but no gifts. And honestly, that take is so practical. It almost feels illegal on the internet. Another parent said their household wasn't going to celebrate Christmas the way they used to. They say they weren't going to go big in with decorations inside and outside, but they were still going to get a few gifts. They say their kids had a breakdown when they suggested this, and the eldest had a breakdown until the parent came to a conclusion. The conclusion was that the kids could decorate their rooms if they wanted to, keep up with the decorations. They said it was hard because their daughter was still melting down about the suggestion, and the parent was trying to shift away from capitalism in their household. But at the same time, they didn't want their kids to be unhappy because of their parents' decision. And honestly, if they have always been decorating and they don't want to spend a lot of money, using the same decorations from previous years could do the trick. Because if you already have decorations from last year, the tinsel did not expire, the lights did not become illegal, and the tree is still a tree. Also, they were still doing presents, so it makes sense to decorate without spending extra by using what they already had. Or the parent could get through this and teach the children that Christmas celebration is not all about decorations and going big. It is about the memories and moments shared together as a family. And if you think that's bad, just wait, because this segment is where the comments got spicy. Some parents are canceling Christmas because of their children's behavior. One mother cancelled her 5-year-old's Christmas this year. She said she was doing it as a way of disciplining her child. She said discipline doesn't mean whacking kids, it also means giving them consequences for their actions. And she was using cancelling Christmas as the consequence. She said not doing this is why children grow up and end up getting disciplined by the law or cops because it wasn't done while the kid was younger. She said kids turn out terrible in school because parents are afraid to discipline them. She said parents send kids to school to avoid dealing with them, but then get mad when their kids get disciplined by teachers. And she encouraged mothers to do the same for the betterment of their kids and said it worked for her daughter. Some other parents supported her. They said kids deserve to be taught the lessons so they can get better grades. They said parents shouldn't feel bad about these measures because it's for the betterment of the children. They say the child might change for the better after that. But then other people said, hold on. They said parents are also to blame. They said cancelling Christmas as a way to punish children might be wild because if the kids have been doing wrong and getting away with it for months, then it's definitely a parent problem for letting the bad behavior normalize. They say the parent needed to take action way earlier to put the kids in line instead of letting it drag on and then suddenly using Christmas as the big punishment. They also say cancelling Christmas because of a child's grades without first finding out what could have gone wrong with the child is not a good approach. Treating holiday traditions and family events like rewards and punishment can feel wild. Instead of punishing for grades, finding out the reason behind the grades could be better. And then there was another speculation some people made. Some people think maybe some families cannot afford gifts and are using this narrative as an excuse. And if that's true, it's way worse because the kids would truly think they did something wrong and lose the holiday when they still deserve joy. So this segment is messy because it's discipline versus timing versus fairness versus what kids can emotionally understand. Loves, I thought it was clickbait. It was not, because even corporate companies got pulled into the cancel Christmas conversation. Apparently, some corporate companies in Jamaica are cutting down the annual Christmas staff parties. And it's not because they hate fun. It was reportedly for the sake of Western countries that suffered the Hurricane Melissa tragedy. A Jamaican creator, Keisha Kish, was wondering whether the budget cuts were called for. She did not deny that victims of the hurricane were badly affected. She acknowledged lost homes, loved ones, and serious suffering. But she questioned whether it was worth cancelling something that would bring normalcy and stress relief to employees. She also said that cancellation would impact economic activities carried out by local small businesses that look forward to the season. She was basically asking whether it was better for employees to sit Christmas out and go through it distressed, or better to cut it down and still give people some fun and excitement. And honestly, this is a tough one. Because the whole point is to show solidarity, but staff also look forward to bonuses and the fun from these parties. And at the same time, having fun can look like laughing in the face of people suffering which turns into a debate about whether the whole world should pause because some people are facing adversity. It's tricky. A possible middle ground is scaling it down and repurposing part of it into a charity portion for victims of Hurricane Melissa, while also not depriving employees of all the joy and stress relief. And then, of course, you have the group who is not willing to take part in any movement canceling Christmas. They are not ready to cancel an every year tradition. They want to gift their loved ones. They want to celebrate the day. They said a movement is not going to make them stop doing what they love, especially if they don't believe it's directly affecting them. They are already in Christmas spirit. They have the Christmas tree set up. They have decorations up. They are getting things from big stores that seem to have the best items. They are willing to create their own memorable Christmas tradition without group influence pushing them to cancel the holiday. They love it and they are willing to spend their money however way they want. So those are the reasons families are canceling Christmas. And it's honestly a spectrum. Some people are canceling because of financial issues, because they're tired of debt, chaos, pressure, and the idea that love equals spending. Some people are canceling the consumer version and even calling out the commercialization of faith, saying faith should not be a business and people should not be guilt tripped. Some people are canceling as a political protest, saying stop feeding Fortune 500 companies and stop indirectly funding politicians that people feel have been playing in their faces throughout 2025. Some are saying celebrate, but spend locally and don't give big corporations the power. Some are trying to bring back the Christmas spirit by focusing on experiences, time, paying bills, decorating without gifts, or scaling down decorations while still keeping a few gifts. Some are cancelling as discipline for kids, and other people are calling that wild, saying the timing is on the parents and the tradition should not be used like punishment. And then you have corporate companies cutting staff parties in places like Jamaica to show solidarity with victims of Hurricane Melissa, which opens the debate about normalcy, stress relief, and support for local businesses. And then you have people saying no, they are not cancelling anything. They have a tree up, they are buying from big stores, and they are celebrating because they want to. Anyways, loves, that's today's chaos. And if you made it to the end, drink water, breathe, and remember the holiday is supposed to be about love, not pressure. Like and subscribe to keep updated on more to come.